Checo just off the podium. Was it harder to pass out there than perhaps you were expecting?
Yeah, it was quite hard to pass actually. Once I was behind, who was it, Fernando, I really had to do his pace. So that meant that it was a little bit trickier. But yeah, it's what it is. I think if we wanted to finish higher, we needed a much better qualifying. So yeah, looking forward for Montreal now.
I was going to say, after two quite difficult weekends, are you glad there's a little bit of a rest now?
I'm not tired, but yeah, I think especially after this one, we gotta analyze and make sure that we understand what happened and make sure that we come strong.
Are you cross with yourself for putting the car where you did, do you think?
No.
Oh, you'd make that move again, going
What
alongside
move?
Lewis at the beginning, I'm just meaning.
On the inside? Everyone just checked up. I wasn't on the inside, so it was just racing. I was just unlucky. That was all.
Okay. And then the rest of your Sunday afternoon, were you frustrated with the
No,
way the
just
race
as
played out?
expected. We knew we were going to be slow and difficult to get in the points. Our target was to try and be in the points today, whether it was 9th or 10th or something. So, yeah, obviously race lap 1 cost us everything, but at the same time, it would have been unlikely to finish in the top 10 today. So, yeah, I guess everyone's expectations were too high after yesterday, which we tried to manage as much as we could, but at the same time, today was the pace that we've had all year and we're just normal paced. Yesterday was just a, unknown special day for us, but yeah, as expected today.
It was a Lando Norris qualifying special, potentially, that's what it was.
Oscar did a good job too, but yeah. I don't know what happened. We were just good for one day, but whatever. But
And
the car's still too far off.
And in terms of managing expectations then for Canada, what would be the message now as we have a little break?
Nothing different. Just we're probably like the 7th quickest car, 8th quickest car. So we're not even fighting for points at that rate. So just have to keep working hard, keep our heads down. Simple as that.
Some nice little battles there. I quite like the moment where Fernando was making the move. Were you a little bit nervous at that moment?
No. I think it was my only chance to try and keep him behind. He was too fast, in that race. So I had to defend quite hard. But I backed off because I thought I will not be able to do it. For 2 laps I've managed to keep him in front, but the pace that we had today compared to yesterday in qualifying has dropped off significantly, and we were not as fast as Saturdays, as the good group in front, and that's what we need to work on and understand.
Do you know why it's fallen away from you? Was it conditions? Was it just track specific?
I think we know, yes, but making it a change that's going to be more tricky. But what we have to remember from the last 2 weeks is that I've scored 19 points, in 2 races. This we can be extremely proud of, and we've made a huge step forward in terms of car pace, and I'm sure that we can keep that going and find an extra leg into the race.
Charles, starting from the pit lane was always going to be difficult. Did you find it as difficult as perhaps we were all going to think it was?
Oh yes, I mean, we've got so much work to do. It's very strange and very difficult to understand because we go on the first set of hard and it feels so bad, no grip at all, especially the fronts, they were just really, really bad. And then you go in the second stint of hard and then everything feels fine and you just do exactly the same thing as a driver and it just feels in a completely different place. So luckily we had much less problems compared to qualifying yesterday where the car was more doing what we expected. Unfortunately though, we still had these troubles with tyres, especially on the first stint.
The back end of your car is on the way to Ferrari's HQ in Maranello, so I'm told. Is it going to get worse before it gets better, do you think, in terms of finding the performance in the car?
Sorry?
Is the situation actually going to get worse, do you think, as you try and establish what's wrong with the car this year before it gets better?
Well, I hope not. And to be honest, looking at our weekend, I will struggle to think that it can get worse than that. The target is to only get better from here.